I am up here to energize you all and get you excited about what the CMTA is doing and get you excited about getting involved with us. Before I do that, I would like to share something really exciting with you. The CMTA, we have a new PSA. I was down last year rallying in the state of Pennsylvania for a little bit of dough, and we got that little bit of dough, and we put that dough to a public service announcement. It is hot off the press. I would be lying if I told you that you're the first ones to see it. I showed it last week in California. So I would like to share this with you all. It's only 60 seconds, so please pay attention. Go ahead, Susan.
I felt the bite at age 16.
I felt the bite at age 28.
I felt the bite at age 4.
I felt the bite at age 13.
We've all felt the bite of Charcot-Marie-Tooth, and we are fighting back.
Charcot-Marie-Tooth is the most commonly inherited nerve disease. It affects the hands, arms, feet, and legs of approximately 1 in 2,500 people in the United States. If you or a loved one has CMT, find out about the latest research and educational tools that can enhance your life or the lives of the ones you love. Go to cmtausa.org and help take a bite out of CMT.
Nice, right? Yeah! Very nice. So what's going to happen is when the CMTA releases this, it is going to be played in the state of Pennsylvania because the PA Department of Health helped fund this project. But when the CMTA releases it, we are going to make an ask to you to get this out, not only in the state of Pennsylvania, but here in Texas and other states in and around, so we can create that awareness. And that's just contacting your radio stations and your TV stations and just asking. Just make the ask. It's very, very simple to do, and we're going to supply you with the files and the tools you need to do so. So no excuses, no excuses. So I'm going to get started with my presentation, and this is the first time I've ever been in Texas. So very nice state. It is a little cool. It's just like back in Pennsylvania a little bit, but Michelle told me it was like 80 degrees here last week. That's just my luck. So I titled my PowerPoint, The Time Is Now. And by the way, I'm going to be moving the entire time because I feel trapped behind this. So I usually name my PowerPoint, The Time Is Now, but I changed it up just last week to It's Time. No more sugarcoating. It's time. It's time for us. It's time for us to make a difference. It's time for those of us living with CMT. It's time. It's time for 2.8 million people to get involved with the CMTA. Don't you agree? Don't you agree? So as I move on to the next slide, you'll see my little beauty there. This is why I, Jeana, am invested in the CMTA. This is why I'm invested. Riley and I can't get my papers to stick here, so just excuse me just for a second. Okay, all right. So Riley and I have been, we are living with CMT 1A. I personally have been diagnosed with CMT about 28 years ago. I have been involved with the CMTA for about 14 to 15 years and an employee for almost 5. The day that the doctor told me that Riley had CMT, I thought, oh, hell no. Hell no. That is not going to happen. And I left that doctor's office and I thought, okay, what am I going to do? And something started churning and burning up inside me. And you know what that was? Passion, drive, and dedication. Passion, drive, and dedication to raise as much awareness as I can for CMT and to raise as much funds as I possibly can for the CMTA, for their STAR research program. because I want to help the CMTA help Riley. Makes sense, right? I run on passion and drive and dedication every day of my life because I believe the impossible is possible. Let me ask you all in this room, how many of you have family members, kids, living with CMT? Wow, that's a lot of you. That is a lot of you. So let me ask you one more question. What is the one thing that you want the most out of your CMT? Look, there's that earthquake that we were talking about. I almost fell. What's that one thing? What's your dream for CMT? What's the one thing that you want? And before you answer that, I asked the same question to Riley. Riley is 9. She said, you know what I want, Mommy? I want medicine. I want medicine to take it away. I want medicine to make it better. Now, how many in this room feel the same exact way? That's right, we can change that. We can do it. But you got to get involved. You got to get involved with the CMTA. You have to believe that the impossible is possible. You have to believe that. Mr. Google helped me find this little saying over here, that there's 3 types of people in the world. There's those that make things happen, and there's people who watch things happen, and then there's people who wonder, what the hell just happened? Right? Well, you kind of know already what kind of person I am, but I'm going to give the other 2 the benefit of the doubt. I think that the people that watch things happen and wonder what happened, maybe they just don't know where to start. Maybe they're just, I don't know, where do I start? And really, I'm just one person. What is one person going to possibly be able, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Am I really going to make that much of a difference? Well, yes, one person can make a difference. And I have an example of 3 people that I don't personally know that made a difference. One person. Now, the first person, Sarah Bakley, I did the same thing at Cedars, Bakley, okay? I picked her not because of the underwear. I picked her because she wanted something. She had absolutely nothing to go on. She had no money, but she wanted something. And what did she want? Ooh, a little bit of curvage, a little tight in the jeans, right? She went after and got what she wanted. Sarah now is a self-made billionaire. She did that. She is one person. She went after with what she wanted. The next person, Mr. Carl Benz and Thomas Edison, I picked them because, of course, they're one person, and they made a difference in the world we live in today. But they also made a difference for all of us living in the room. Now, if Carl Benz, again, one person, didn't invent the car, we would be walking to the grocery store. Do you want to be walking to the grocery store with CMT? Down and back? No. Thomas Edison, inventor of the light bulb. Not a good thing to be walking in the dark, right? So both of these 2 people, they helped us. They took the initiative and they went after and got what they wanted. Now, the next slide, making the impossible possible in the CMT world. These 3 people are in our community, in the CMT community. Dale Lopez. Dale, she's an average gal from Chicago, mom, hard worker, full-time employee, but her son has CMT. And a few years ago, she said, oh, hell no. And She herself raised $150,000 for the CMTA since she's got involved. That's pretty remarkable, right? Andrew from Oregon. Andrew reached out to me and said, Jeana, you know, I am just really tired of people just not knowing what CMT is. I'm so frustrated with this. Can you help me educate people? Of course I can. So I started sending him What is CMT brochures, which, by the way, you have in your little packets. So I sent him a couple, you know, maybe 25 I sent him. This guy emailed me every day. I need more. He has given out 600 What is CMT brochures in 2 months. I really literally thought that he was eating them. I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing? And he said, I am pounding the pavement. I am pounding the pavement for us because I want people to know what CMT is. He has now recruited his sister and his brother to do the same. And I can promise you that I will keep sending him What is CMT brochures. One person, Miss Elizabeth Olette. Does anybody in this room know Elizabeth? Yeah, well, Elizabeth is a talker. She did a fundraiser for the CMTA, and she promised if she raised a certain amount of money or she got a certain amount of votes, that she would go quiet for 51 hours. This was a big deal for Elizabeth, huge. But you know what? She did it. She did it for all of us sitting in this room, and she did it for the CMTA Star Research Program.
Best fundraiser ever.
Yeah. Making the impossible possible. That's true. You know who else is making the impossible possible? The CMTA, right? The CMTA, right? Yeah. Right. Come on, guys. This is such an exciting time. You guys are getting like super awesome research updates. You know, when you're hearing the word assay and compound, I know what I thought when I heard them. I'm like, what the? I don't even know what this is. You know what I hear? I hear hope and promise for the future of CMT. That's what I hear. These guys right here, they know what an assay is, and they know what a compound is, and little petri dishes. I think that's great, but I hear hope and promise for the future of CMT. And we can change this. Let's make this the generation to change it for the future generations. Do your part. Just like Dr. Scheer said, do your part. Get involved in the database. Let's do this. Let's do this now. So today, I am asking you for your time, talent, and treasure for the CMTA. That's what I'm asking. That's my goal from all of you in this room. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, Jeana, that sounds all great. I'll give you my time, talent, and treasure, but how do you want me to do that? Well, guess what? I have the answer. I have the answer. I'm full of them. I am full of the answers. I am going to ask you to give your time to the CMTA branches. There are 78 CMTA branches across the country now. We actually have 3 of them here in Texas. These branches, the branch leaders, they are incredible people. Incredible people. The branch leaders, they put meetings together. And these meetings, they provide encouragement, they provide support, and they provide patient advocacy for those of us living with CMT. But you know what another thing that they do? They're out there creating awareness and creating funds for the CMTA Star Research Program. Call them up. Hey, what can I do? What can I do to help? Let's make it a community. Last year, Pat says to me, Jeana, I want to grow the branches to 100. I'm like, what? What? Because the branches are my biggest responsibility for the CMTA. So Pat agreed, and I got some help at the beginning of this year. And I am pleased to introduce Michelle Hayes as the Midwest Regional Branch Manager. Yeah, I don't know where the microphone is. Here, you can come up and say a few words. So, Michelle was hired in January, and Michelle, would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
To the...
I'm Michelle Hayes, and as Jeana said, I'm nervous, sorry.
Take your
first
time.
I'm the new Midwest Regional Branch Manager, and I have been the Dallas, called the Dallas-Fort Worth branch leader for the last couple years. And I'm really excited about working for the CMTA. I'm so excited about the promises that are the hope of the future, just everything that we're working on. I'm just really excited, and I really thank all of you, each and every one of you, just for coming out today. That means a lot to me. So I get emotional.
Sorry, you're good, babe.
So,
you're
thank
good.
you.
Michelle Hayes, everyone. Now I gotta get this little lapel of my thingy back on. That's hard to squeeze. So, time for the CMTA branches. I do want to tell you again how awesome the branch leaders are. Karen Smith, not to put you on the spot, Karen, but Karen is the branch leader for the Kansas City branch. All of Kansas, not just like a small city. She's the whole Kansas, you know. So, but she came down today just for this. So, I thank you. So that's a little bit of how you can give your time. And now I also want to tell you, take the time to stay connected to the CMTA. You know, take the time to become a subscriber to our newsletters. Again, I think that there's a copy in the folder. Take the time to do that. You know, it's $30 a year to stay connected, $100 to become a star member, and you get this whole big package of goodness. You get the newsletter in your mailbox. You can sit down and have your coffee on Sunday morning and read the CMTA newsletter. So take the time to do that. So, talent. Okay? You all have this in your little packet, by the way. So, talent. Everybody in this room has a talent, right? Everybody does. I have a talent. So why don't you put your talent towards fundraising for the CMTA? Right? So many people get caught up in the word fundraising. They think, oh my gosh, I gotta do this big gala, I gotta polish the silverware. No, you don't. No, you don't. Make that fundraiser you. Make it your talent. Make it fun. Do a puppy parade if you're into dogs. It doesn't have to be this huge thing. It's about getting out and doing something. So at one of the conferences last year, someone said, you know, we did surveys, and in the survey, it said, you know, I wish Jeana would have given some fundraising ideas. And I thought, wow, you know, I don't have a whole lot of time to get into that. But since I aim to please, here are 51 ways to help the future of CMT. Yay, right? 51 ways. And in there is a packet of those 51 ways. So you're probably thinking, oh, Jeana, that sounds really good. Thanks for the information. But you know what? I've never fundraised before. I'm going to challenge you that you have fundraised. Who in this room has sold Girl Scout cookies? Who in this room has raised money for their PTO? Who in this room has raised money for women's clubs, men's clubs, Rotary clubs? Yeah, a lot of you. So you have fundraised before. So why not fundraise for the CMTA? Next question. I'm just going to answer all your questions right now, even before you even ask or call me later. Jeana, you know, yeah, I want to do that fundraising, but you know what? I just don't know how to ask. My response, what are you asking for? Are you asking for new boots, new clothes, milk, bread? No. You're asking for the future of CMT. You're asking to make a difference. So if I would ask Steve, Steve, would you like to donate $100 to the CMTA? Done. He gives it to me. Steve is giving through me, not to me. Right? So we all should ask. We should all think about that. If we don't do it, who's going to do it? Not your neighbor, not your employer, us. So, treasure. Your treasure, treasure, treasure. I don't know if anybody in this room noticed that my little treasure chest was not just filled with coin. It was filled with many things. So yes, treasure is coins, dollars. But what about all your contacts? What about telling your friends and your family and your neighbors about CMT? Asking them to get involved. Does that make sense? So there's much more than just dollars. It's about that outreach, spreading the word, getting more people involved, getting others to donate to your cause. This is an actual email that I received. I did not type this. This came from a CMT community member, and I'm going to read it to you. I made a pledge for Phoenix Children's Hospital last fall for a year, or forever, to have $20 taken out of my bank account each month. It adds up to $240, which is a lot more than if I had sent a check. It goes to a great cause. But wait a minute. The CMTA is a more appropriate cause for me. Let's all start thinking of that. Let's make the CMTA your cause. It's your condition. It's your disease. It's your disorder. It's whatever you want to call it. Make the CMTA your cause. It's time for us to do that. It's time for us to make a difference. So today, again, I would like to ask you for your time, talent, and treasure. Because if you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't step forward, you'll always be in the same place. So please, give your time, talent, and treasure to the CMTA. Thank you.